Hi everybody, I'm Corinne Blackstone and welcome to my craft room. I'm so happy to have you here today. Before we get started, be sure that you're subscribed here on YouTube. Now in today's tutorial, I'm going to show you a really easy way to apply vinyl decals without having bubbles. Now I'm just going to apply this to a random piece of acrylic that I have. I do still have the coating on the back for you, just so that it was easier to see in the video. But this is a super easy method and you really don't need any special equipment or anything. You probably already have vinyl and whatever blank you're going to put it on. Now this does work best on things like glass, acrylic, plastic, things like that. It doesn't really work on wood because the wood absorbs the water. And you'll need a little spray bottle or some sort of spray bottle and just plain water. You don't need to do anything to it, nothing special, just plain old water will work. Now without further ado, I'm going to show you really quickly this in Design Space so you can see how to cut this. We'll cut the vinyl out and then I'm going to show you how to apply it with the wet method. For this wet method application, I'm going to show you how to upload really quickly. We're not going to do anything too crazy fancy, but I do want to show you how to upload this. So I'm going to upload my image by clicking upload and then click upload image. You can drag or drop or browse. We're going to use this really cute little turkey that says Gobble, and he's a little layered design, very, very cute. So I'll just go ahead and click upload and he'll upload right over into my Design Space canvas. Now he is quite a few layers and I am going to check all of my layers just to make sure that we've got all our pieces and parts. We have our little face, we have our gobble piece, the little whatever this is, we have the gold, the red, we got it all. And everything looks like it's pretty well set up. So I think we're good to go as far as like layering is concerned. So he's good to go. The way he's set up is perfect. I am going to resize him so that he'll fit on to the picture frame that we're going to put him on. I think we'll make him about, I don't want to be too big, but I think that's a pretty good size. Now for the wet method, I'm going to show you how to do this. It's so simple. You're going to need a little spray bottle though, so make sure you have that and some water. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to save my project really quick and I'm going to save it as Gobble Turkey and go ahead and click save. Now I do just want to show you what the make screen is going to look like really quickly. This is so easy to do, but he's going to have a couple of layers. He's going to have white, black, red, and this is like the wattle piece. So it's a little bit of a different color red, brown, this gold, and then the words. Now you can make this in any colors that you want to, but we'll just try to follow the colors fairly easily. This is a great project for scraps as well. You don't have to use full sheets for this, which is pretty nice. So without further ado, let's get this cut out. I'm going to speed through that because you probably don't need to see that for the 1000th time. Get everything weeded, and then I'm going to show you how we layer it and apply it using the wet method. For this method, I do find personally that I prefer to layer my design first. Now you can layer with the wet method, but for me, just not the way I choose to do it. So I like to use the parchment paper method. Now this piece, the gobble piece, we'll put on our design, our piece last, but we've got all these little pieces. Now you can kind of layer in whatever way makes the most sense for you. Personally, I like to start and work my way up, but this transfer tape really lends itself to that, so it's fine. What I'm going to do is place the transfer tape over the gold layer here, and that's what's going to go on to the red. So this is like basically putting together a little puzzle. I'm going to take the red and slide it under our parchment paper and just leave a little bit of it out so that you guys can like kind of access this, because we'll need this little piece when we stick down the yellowy gold color. I'm going to take this off of this vinyl backing here. And I'm going to go ahead and lay this on to my parchment paper. Now, the bottom of the turkey lines up perfectly. So you want to get that lined up so that it covers up all of the red. Once I have that section, I'm going to go ahead and take this off the parchment paper. And I'm just going to press down this gold, yellow, whatever you want to call it, piece. And get this pushed down onto our turkey. Now, I don't like to use my squeegee for this because I want these not to stick real well to my transfer tape. So I'm going to go ahead and peel this back. Now, it might still stick a little bit, but it's okay. We can kind of work with that, but you just want it not to stick too much. And I'm using a piece of transfer tape that isn't crazy sticky. Now the next piece is our little turkey body. So again, I'm going to put this down onto the vinyl transfer tape here, remove the backing. Now on this one, I cut a little deep. So I'm going to try pulling from a different side. For some reason, every once in a while, I'll get a little section on mine that just cuts a little too deep. Now we'll do the same thing. We're going to put that parchment paper over that, and the turkey booty, so this little round portion at the bottom, is going to cover the whole piece of the turkey there. And then I'll make sure that it's lined up at the top as well. I think that looks pretty good. So again, we'll do the same thing. We're going to go ahead and pull that parchment paper out, and we'll lay our turkey body down. And again, I just press it with my finger. Perfect. The next piece is going to be his little eyeballs. So we'll grab these. These are the big white eyeballs here. We'll grab those and we'll put those on to our transfer tape. Again, just kind of lightly press it down. It doesn't need much oomph to stick. And there we go. And then for this, again, we'll kind of cover up the turkey. Now for this one, I think I'll go upside down just so I'm not having to have so much of the turkey covered. And this part's going to line up right with the edge of the brown of your turkey and the edge of your nose. And now for this piece, I'm just going to push it down enough that the white is down. And then I can peel this back. That way it's not sticking too much to the design. Now the next piece we've got are the eyes and his little tiny itsy bitsy mouth. So again, same thing, just going to push this down. Now this is a little bit small, so you're going to want to go real slow with this little tiny detailed piece because that's really thin. And now we've got that, and I'll do the same thing. Just going to put this over it and then place his eyes and his nose where they go. Oh, I think I got his eyes too low. There we go. His eyes go like that. And then you just kind of get them evened out where you want them. I think that looks good. And again, we'll just push everything down and then go ahead and, whoops, I didn't get that pushed down. And get that pulled up. Voila. And then you have just his little wattle piece left. So I'm going to go ahead and just gently stick that on to the transfer tape anywhere. It does not matter. And then you're going to put his wattle down. And I don't remember where his wattle went. I don't remember which side. Do you? Probably. Because you just saw this design. I haven't looked at this in a while. So I'm just going to guess that it goes right there. And that's totally fine. So once your turkey is completely layered, you're going to go ahead and take your transfer tape. And now we're going to use a squeegee on this, because we do want this to stick to the tape now really well. And we're just going to go ahead and burnish this down. Slide him out of the way. I'm going to get rid of the parchment paper. We don't need this anymore. But what we do need is the acrylic piece, a paper towel, and a little spray bottle with some water in it. Now, I do need to remove the backing off of this. This has a clear coating to help prevent any scratches. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that off, and you can see it's just a plastic piece. You don't need it. Now what you're going to do is you're going to lightly spritz your design here, your blank. So I did about 4 spritzes. Now I do need to account for the gobble, and so I want to put the turkey up a little bit. Now you can see there's quite a bit of water on here, which is what you want. And you're going to lay your design down, and you do try to get it basically where you want it. But this is where that wet method comes in. You're going to be able to slide this around a little bit if it's not quite exactly where I want it. But honestly, I got it pretty good. Now, the cool thing about the wet method, too, is it's really going to help you get any bubbles out that may have come into play when you place this down. Because you notice I just kind of tossed it down. But if you've got any bubbles, this is where this is really going to come in and help you. So what you're going to do is you're going to push the water out, and you can see that water comes out of the sides. I'll push up here so you can see. Hopefully you guys can see. The water's going to come out. Do you see that? Got a little puddle of water. We want that to happen. That's exactly what we want. Now, what I like to do personally is I come in, I just use a little piece of paper towel, and I'm just going to start drying up a little bit around so that it's not soaking wet, because you don't want it soupy and sopping wet. So I'm going to go ahead and just dry this off a little bit, and we'll dry the table. It does get a little wet, so whatever you're doing this on, for sure, don't do it on a surface that can't get wet. But once I'm happy with my turkey, where he's sitting, I think he's good. And I've squeegeed a lot of the water out. I'm going to go ahead and remove the transfer tape. Now you're going to go slow on this because this is not going to be fully like adhered to your project just yet, you're going to be able to really move them around. So when you do a wet method, you want to take your time taking this off. Now, once I've kind of got this off, I'm going to go through and I'm going to use my finger and I'm just going to make sure that I push out any more moisture that might be under there. I don't like to use this squeegee for it because this one can damage, this squeegee with the hard sides, it can damage your design. But if you've got one that's got like a felt side to it, this is a great option because the felt's going to dry. So I like to kind of go through and just very gently make sure I kind of push out any water bubbles that might still be in here. Now, the cool thing is too, as this dries, any of these additional like little wrinkles will kind of dry out and they won't be there. Now, you will see a little bit of like a push on some portions because it's layered. So you may have a bubble in a layer that you did, which is why the wet method for layering can be great. And I just messed up his mouth. But I've got just a little section right here that I want to make sure is well held down. Now, I will say I'm not a master at this. It doesn't come out perfect every single time I do it because I don't do it all of the time. If I did this more often, I could definitely perfect it, but I'm not somebody who has perfected this, but I like to show you guys how it's done and keep in mind that nobody's perfect. So you can see what I'm doing here is I'm just going to go and push any of these little bubbles that may be present, and I'm just going to kind of push them out towards the sides and the edges. And as I'm doing that, you're going to see that water will kind of spit out of some of them, which is great. This is just a really easy way to apply your vinyl. Now, like I said, does this take practice? Absolutely. Like, definitely try a few times before you really fully commit to like doing this to a big project. All right, I'm pretty happy with that. So what I want to do now is I'm going to come in and I'm going to dry off the top here. And we'll put the gobble on too using that wet method. Now, the other thing with using this wet method is sometimes your transfer tape's still good, sometimes not. So you may want to just like test it to see. This one is pretty damp, so I'm going to skip using that one again, and I'll get a new piece. Now, I have a new piece, of course, because Lord knows we have so much transfer tape in this house. I'm going to go ahead and trim this down, and we'll apply the gobble with the same technique here. And it's so easy to do that anybody can do this. It just does take some practice to get it right. Now, again, I'm going to go ahead and spray this down with some water. And we'll put a little extra because I just want to show you, like, you can do a ton. Like, I just soaked that. You can put a lot of water on this and it'll still work. So let me go ahead and burnish this down. And the cool thing is the water isn't harming the decal. You already have it down. Now, I'm going to go ahead, let me push that back out of the way. I realized I still needed this piece of table so I can get the gobble off of the vinyl backing here. Ooh, this one does not want to stick to, there we go, there we go. I think I just didn't burnish those letters down well enough. All right, perfect. Now, this is not a piece I'd worry too much about bubbles because it's not real solid, but I can move it around a little bit more so that if I don't get it exactly where I want it, I can kind of scooch it around. Honestly, I think I got it pretty well where I want it, but if I'm not happy, it's a lot easier to just pull it off and move it. And the vinyl is going to be fine with the water on the sticky part. You don't have to worry about that. All right, I'm happy with that. Now, this one is going to be very messy because I did put a lot of water on here for you guys to see. So what I'm doing is I'm going to shove, look at how much water just came out. Do you see that? I hope you guys can. I'll try to zoom in if it's not showing like on my more pulled out version of this, so that you can see how much water has come out. And then as I kind of do that, I just dry off that excess water and I kind of just dab it. You don't need to like wipe because you don't want to move your design around too much. And then I'm just going to kind of make sure that I get as much water out as I can. Now, I do have some water under the acrylic, so I do have some water kind of pushing up from underwards, but that's okay. And then all I'm going to do is, again, just simply peel off this transfer tape. And like I said, the water doesn't affect that vinyl. It's still going to stick really well. It's just going to allow you that option to not have any of those bubbles. Now, once I get this off, again, I'm going to come in and just dab this dry. And we'll let this dry out because it is really wet from soaking it that last time. But you can see, here's the back of it. You can really see there's no bubbles on the backing. Any of the bubbles I have are really going to be from the layering that I did, which I did try to do bubble free, but I'm not perfect. But you can see there's no bubbles back here, so it's really good. And then we've got the front. So I'll go ahead and dab the front off. Now I'm going to let this dry and I'll show you guys what this looks like up close. And here is the finished design. I think this came out really cute, and the wet method is something so fun. But just remember, it does take a little bit of practice. Nobody's perfect the first time or sometimes even the 10th time. So keep trying. I'll link everything I used down in the video's description in case you want to use the same products that I do. And I do have a couple coupon codes I'll put down there as well. If you have any questions, as always, please let me know in the comments down below. I'm always happy to answer those for you. Be sure you're subscribed here on YouTube as part of my crafty family. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and as always, happy crafting.